Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back again with another reaction video, and it's time for another Osho reaction. You recommended this one. I've seen none of this. It is titled, Have You Seen Jesus Christ Laughing?
I'm going to call it. Osho's my favorite. He's my favorite out of all the spiritual guys, you know, so...
Of all the gurus.
You want to take number one, be more Osho-y, because he's my favorite.
All right, let's get into it.
Celebration is not so easy. Laughter is not so easy. Because your surroundings have given you the idea that you have to be serious. Laughing brings down your seriousness. Have you seen any saint laughing? Have you seen Jesus Christ laughing? It would be really a scene, a real miracle. On the cross, Jesus Christ, if he had laughed, it would have been far bigger a miracle than resurrection. He missed the real point when the miracle had to happen. You have been taught to be serious. Even if you have to laugh, smile. Don't laugh. Laughter seems to be rustic. You are a cultured being. At the most, just a little smile shows that you are a graduate from Oxford. A serious man. In any profession, if you are a doctor and you laugh too much, patients won't take you seriously.
Have you ever been in a scenario where a group of people have been together and one guy comes in and he's all frazzled and he's trying to get everyone like on the same page with him, but the other people don't care about the thing the same degree that person cares about?
Yeah.
Doesn't it drive you crazy? And then everyone's got to like put on an imaginary like concerned face. And like now everyone's doing it, and everyone's like, oh, okay, say it's like they're looking for something, but really they don't care as much as ever, and it's like a fake concern. But I don't know why I thought about that, but it was just I'm sure it's probably happened in like a work situation where like something's been brought to the table and everyone's like, yeah, okay. But, because that person, like maybe the boss or something, everyone has to like,
I've seen it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens with parents and kids, if you'll notice. You got kids, I got kids.
Yeah.
We were kids and we had parents. And sometimes the parents would be like, we got to clean this place up. Yeah. And the kids would be like all lazy. And then the parents would be like, come on, get up, do it. And the kids would be like, oh. They're like not really doing anything. You're like, I am. This sucks.
Yeah.
They're not doing their job.
Yeah.
Everyone's just
Stop
trying
paying
to
attention to them.
pass the blame. You're right. And then sometimes like kind of a fake form of involvement can happen.
Yeah.
Like when you're right. But, everybody, you can't really tell who cares and how much.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Why did that come into your mind?
I don't know. Just because he was talking about like laughter and seriousness and, how we're conditioned he was talking about kind of like the conditioning of how we are all supposed to be at a certain level of like taking things serious enough. And, you know, that kind of like ruins things.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because you can think of the classics times when you're not supposed to laugh. Like if you're in a serious assembly or you're in a church service or something and you're like, you know, that's when it's the most painful, when something really funny is going on. You gotta stifle. You gotta like leave the room because you want to laugh and you can't, you know. But then there are other times, like, you know, remember that story about the 3 monks that came into town, and everywhere they did, all they did was laugh. And it was infectious. There was no confusion about whether or not they were going to laugh. All they did was laugh. And then laughter spread. You know, and then he mentioned the thing about the painting, or not the painting, that's my idea. He mentioned, you know, have you ever seen Jesus laughing or whatever, right? I'm like, one, you could paint Jesus laughing. There's a you know, a challenge to somebody out there.
I think there are some paintings and stuff like
perfect.
that.
Even bigger challenge, paint him laughing on the cross.
Oh,
that's
that's controversial.
Yeah, I know. And I just wanted to even, because I was imagining right away somebody that like turns this off as soon as that was said. You know what I mean? Like, crowd laughing on the cross, you missed the whole point. It's like, do you really think this guy doesn't know what he's doing? He's saying it on purpose so that you'll think about that for a second, you know? After all, Christ was the Son of God. Is God subject to pretension? You know? Yeah. It's like, and I understand he was fully man and he actually was suffering. The point was that he was suffering. I get it. Yeah. But I'm saying, you know, I believe God is capable of all things, or they're not, you know? Yeah. And if they are capable of all things, let's test that. Let's test that and see how far we can go in all kinds of cool directions. You know, maybe somebody out there, paint Christ laughing on the cross and see what happens. See what happens. I don't know. It'd be a novel experience.
You have to be serious. The patient may not be having anything. Just ordinary cold, which is not a disease. Because it goes away in 7 days if you don't take any medicine. If you take any medicine, it goes in a week. What kind of disease is this? But the doctor has to be so serious that you start feeling as if you are having cancer. Seriousness will bring bigger fee. He writes the prescription in Greek and Latin. Because if he writes in a language that you can understand, then you are not going to give him even 1 rupee. But you are going to give him 10 rupees, and it is nothing, just the rubbish that you can purchase in 4 annas anywhere, not in Greek and Latin, just it will be available in the market. The doctor has to be serious. The teacher, the professor has to be serious. Because if he is not serious, then the students are going to take advantage of it. The father has to be serious before the children. He is a father. The mother has to be serious. Everywhere laughter is denied. naturally you learn all this stupid behavior. So when times come for celebrating, you start crying and weeping. Your normal ways of celebration are closed, clogged. They have to be opened. You have to clean all your passages. You have to learn how to laugh heartily, not just a smile. Why be so miser? It costs nothing to have a good laugh. Neither you are allowed to cry. If you are a man, then it is feminine to cry. And it is a plain fact that women, because they are not prevented from crying, are psychologically healthier than men. Men commit suicide more than women. The number is double.
He's starting to bring some serious things now about this, but for those out there, you know, who are caught up in what he's talking about like wearing a mask and a persona, like something you put on every day and have to be that way, I would hope that they would know that you can, like, well, at least I hope you feel like you have the ability to change if you want to. If you want to take that mask off, all it requires sometimes is just taking the mask off. You know? Mm-hmm. But we're trained so much to, like, be away. I can remember when I, like, back in my college days, it was like, I remember, like, the social group. And I remember it was like, it was almost like they were, like, picking you to, like, be a certain way. And it was like, now you have to fit that role of that person in the, you know, the group. And you got to fit this role. And it makes me think of, like, in high school, how there's, like, you know, you got your jocks and your geeks and your goths. And it's like, you know, maybe you're sick of being goth one day and you want to take the white makeup off and just walk around and smile now.
Yeah, we're all entrained to some degree, and, you know, depending on where you live and what time period you live in, it could be violently dangerous to express yourself honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be myself, you know. Yeah. And in my life, I've experienced that. I've seen that. I've seen people get violent. I've seen people, you know, sometimes it can be pretty traumatizing just for somebody to kind of, like, laugh off who you really are. Like, just not take you seriously.
Yeah.
Idiot. You freaking idiot. You know, with a lot of these old wise guru types, you know, even archetypally, they're often long in the tooth. They're often gray-haired and old.
Yeah.
Yoda was old. All the people full of wisdom are old because it takes experience sometimes. You know, you almost don't need a guru in some sense because time will give you experience. You're going to learn one way or another, or you won't, and you'll suffer the consequence, that it's good to express yourself, you know? I hope that I'm wrong and everybody's okay and everybody lives a happy, good life doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for some direction, I'm totally pro learn how to express your, like...
in a way that you feel is actually authentic to yourself.
In a way that is authentic. But reality can be harsh. Yeah. And the only reason you wouldn't do that is because when you're really young and you're, like, prancing around, somebody goes, like, smacks you in the head and tells you there's something wrong with that. Something wrong with you. Yeah. Sometimes just for being happy. Yeah. You know, and it varies to how brutal this happens, and it varies to how much you are allowed to express yourself.
Yeah.
And if you grew up somewhere where you're allowed to express yourself freely and you've got kind of a healthy balance of, you know, feminine and masculine characteristics, you might go somewhere that's like just a brutal place to grow up and live, and they'll beat that out of you sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had one more thing I wanted to say, and I'm just trying to think of it right now. And it has to do with, I honestly think it's the last point that he was making right there about expressing yourself and the effect that has on your mental health.
Yeah.
This is like very supreme knowledge to me.
Yeah.
You know, even if you got to do it when no one's looking, even if you can't accept the challenge of like being your authentic self in the work environment or at family get-togethers or social gatherings, even if you can't conjure, it's understandable if you're like, no, I got to hold all that in. Do it somewhere. Express yourself somewhere, because that bottled up stuff, I think, has negative consequences.
Yeah, and he's talking about some of that right now, man. He was like, especially like with men, man. I can imagine being like, if you're in a group where there's like a lot of pressure to be a certain way that, you know, might not actually be the true you. I've seen guys who are like, you know, not your super alpha types be forced to try to act that way. And that's like, you know, that's hell. That's hell.
It's ugly.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I've
look
seen
right.
like pecking orders in like when I was in high school of like, you know, someone comes down the hall and is like, hey, little guy, how's it going? Like, come on. You just like what are you doing?
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. But I mean, cut humanity some slack, right? I'm not saying I don't understand every aspect. Like, I don't know all things, but I get it. I get that people don't do things for no reason. But the bottom line is, if you were looking for a green light to like concern yourself with being more expressive or being more authentic, you know, you have two people here that agree that that's a good idea, and obviously Osho too. So the final thing I just wanted to say was that oftentimes it's interesting. Even intelligent people can make this mistake sometimes, where they see somebody that's a little more fluid, a little more able to express themselves. And the assumption often is, like, if you're not always acting happy, then why would I listen to you? It's like, I can't believe how many smart people and regular people miss this. Yeah. It's like, don't confuse the fact that I can switch from, like, literally laughing, you know, to, like, real serious or, like, sad. Like, showing that I'm sad. You hurt my feelings. People will be like, what a baby back bitch. Did you just literally utter, you hurt my feelings? You're not fit to do anything. I'm going to get you. People like can't handle that. A grown man talking about his feelings. I'm telling you right now, it's intelligence to be able to be like, look, I've been having a rough week. I have been sad for 4 days. But you know what? I'm up and down. I'm not a robot. I will be happy again. Just because I'm angry, just because I'm passionate, just because I'm sad, doesn't mean that I'm not overall like cool with it. Yeah. Life requires different feelings. Yeah. There's nobody, how rare would it be to just always be happy, always be blissful, always, you know, just people, you know, that's in my mind, 99% of the time, it's probably a magic trick.
No, I hear what you're saying. And you know what? Not everyone is granted the same environment to be able to express themselves. I'm lucky. I'm a bit of a crybaby, but I've been allotted people that love me and can tolerate, you know, me when I get whiny.
Maybe put some effort into finding the people that will tolerate your true self, man. Because if you're away, there are other people that are that way too. Might just not be in your neck of the woods. Yeah. You know, some people that are like that, they would rather burn to death on fire than ever show their feelings. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Although women talk 1,000 times more about committing suicide, they take also sleeping pills, but always you will find them next day again committing suicide. They never take too many sleeping pills either. Women go mad less. Men go mad 3 times more. It's strange. Why this difference? Because man is repressing everything. The woman is allowed a little because she is not considered equal to man. She can be allowed to cry. She is after all a woman. Not equal to man. She can have a tantrum. She can throw things, but you will always see she throws things which are worthless. In fact, which needed to be thrown. She tries to hit you but never hits you. She always makes it a point to miss you. You are not supposed to do such things. You are a man, a serious man, a doctor, a professor, an engineer, a scientist, a bishop, a cardinal. It doesn't look right for a cardinal to throw a tantrum, but a woman is a woman. Crying, throwing things, weeping. She throws out her insanity. In installments. You go on collecting wholesale. Then one day it erupts like a volcano. Then it is beyond your control. It is, to me, absolutely beautiful to cry, beautiful to laugh, beautiful to enjoy, dance, sing.
Man, Osho is just smart. If it turned out that he wasn't magical at all or whatever,
Yeah.
enlightened, the bottom line is I think he's just smart. I think he's just really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he was even tapping into like a physical exercise that you can do to like exercise your demons, get them out of you. Like he was kind of poking fun at the like woman throwing the dishes, but it was like he's getting it out, man.
Yes.
You know, like you could go in your backyard and swing an axe and chop wood for an hour. Get it out. You know?
Yes.
Find some. I think the point is find some way to like
Yeah, I think he's
express
talking,
yourself.
He's talked about in other things like punch a pillow or something. The pillow won't suffer.
Yeah.
To do something to get it out.
Yeah.
Right. He was big on that, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to note was that you had noticed that sometimes in this video he would tell a joke or something and everybody would laugh, and it didn't always match our response. We weren't always laughing along with it.
Yeah.
And I think that the point is, notice that oftentimes in real life, a joke will be told and you'll be like, and I'm not judging it, by the way. I want to be careful to say that a lot of this stuff I am totally subject to.
Yeah.
There are many situations I still out in the world like put on a face or change the character that I am.
Yeah.
I'm not above it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you. Yes.
Just so karma doesn't get me, because oftentimes if I don't address something like that, it plays out so that I learn a lesson in real life.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid that this time. So, but I do think, nevertheless, everything we said is true. Why is it so wrong that if you're not in a laughy mood, why can't you just absorb it?
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Are you authentic or not? Can you do? Hey, I noticed you weren't laughing when the rest of them were laughing.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Why didn't you laugh when the rest laughed? It's the same thing can happen.
Or why aren't you as serious as everyone else? Hey, I don't think you're taking this as serious as everyone else.
Right. So obviously it can be complex.
Yeah.
Are you being considerate of everybody's feelings?
Yeah.
you know. But nevertheless, still very valuable stuff. Maybe watch it again.
Yeah. And
We'll leave a
guys,
link.
hopefully you liked our reaction on this Osho video. It was fun. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time, stay
Stay
spiritual.
spiritual.